coming to the green flag. Vladimir Petrov on pole alongside Michael Block here in Montreal. Green flag underway for the second round of the 2017 DuPont Mercedes racing season is underway here in Canada. Petrov immediately clears into the first chicane. Vibrosis around the outside, trying to get past Michael Block for second place into the first chicane. This track features multiple chicanes, probably not suitable for these types of cars, which could result in chaos as Michael Block into the wall. Block into the wall already. A lot of people have been hitting that wall during practice and during qualifying. Ooh, we got a big smash pile in the back of the field as John Cittadino, Charles Sanford involved in two separate wrecks. Sanford around, Joshua Carr in the 42, Ian Dutta in the 95 around. A couple of cars got spun off into that chicane. Looked like a couple more in the back as well. We saw Cittadino around, but he already got his car back going. To look at a helicopter camera to see what happened with Charles Sanford. And it seems like, ooh, Kasten Rosengard trying to go for 3 wide. Sanford closed up the hole before Kasten could firmly put his nose there, but it caused a couple of cars to spin. Now we look at John Cittadino to see what happened to him. You see that one of the Toyota cars, looks like Milton Campbell, gets into the 84, Sofia Vargas, and hooks her right into Cittadino. Not too major of an accident. Right as they get to the next chicane, Eugene DeMax gets spun by Paul Athanos, and Kasten Rosengard gets into another car, and Cavanero in the 7 comes flying into the 92 and just jams him from behind. Try and get a better look and see what happened here. DeMax looks like he checks up, and then Joshua Michaels, I think, might have been pushing the 98 of Thanos into DeMax, and then Cavanero, who for some reason was cutting the chicane, just drills the back of the 92. Well, a chaotic first lap, but Vladimir Petrov does end up leading the first lap of the race. Chaffer Brosis up to second place after Block hit the wall. This is a one-stop race, so this is pretty much a short pair of races this round. Couple of miles and laps shorter than what we're probably used to. Most rounds take about 60 to 80 minutes per race. This one should take no longer than half an hour. This final chicane before the run up into the corner of champions, and Michael Cavanero gets, I think he might have come across the 24 of Gene Sanford, our DuPont 500 winner, as Satsuki Yakajur looks like she's been hooked around in the back. And she is stuck there. This has been quite the chaotic start, but everybody's still running side by side, running very aggressive. These are pretty much sprint races, so not too surprised, but could still be a little bit cleaner. Well, for 5th place here is Vincent Allen, makes a huge dive into the 5 car. That corner is one of the big passing areas we've seen. A lot of drivers have been attempting dive bombs into that corner, and most of the time it's actually worked, as you could see with Vincent Allen right there. He just easily disposed of the 5 and now moves up to 5th place. Vladimir Petrov having a little bit of trouble getting past the 37 of Milton Campbell, and here comes Chaffer Brosis all the way down the inside into the hairpin and tries to capitalize, but Petrov gets the run off the corner. Milton Campbell, the rookie, and he's going to come up to block the 09 of Vladimir Petrov, and there goes Fibrosis to the lead. Milton Campbell, he is just hogging the front of the 09, but Petrov isn't really making a move. Now he does. Now he goes by, but Petrov loses the lead. And Milton Campbell, who in his rookie year had 1 season of Division 2, the Danish driver, a lot of people think might have been moved up a little bit too early. He finished close to dead last in the Division 2 title standings last year, and perhaps not the best off-season signing Toyota's made in recent years. Just outside the top 10, Matthew Fuller, currently the highest running Pages Trophy car, has actually had a pretty quick weekend for Pages Trophy car as comes up to pass Campbell and forces Jabri behind him, using Campbell as a pick for defense. That was an interesting move. Fuller saw Jabri coming and basically forced Jabri to go the same line Campbell was going, and knowing how Campbell has been treating the lead lap cars, that was probably a wise move as they try splitting 3 wide, but Campbell looks like getting in Michael Cavanero's way a little bit. Vincent Allen setting up a move for 4th place here on Zachary Fitzwater. He goes to the outside line into the first corner. Can he make it stick? Fitzwater doesn't challenge him too hard for it, and Allen does make the pass. What a good pass by the 0 car. Nice pass. Fitzwater coming off a podium in the DuPont 500. He falls back to 5th as Vincent Allen continues to march his way forward. Speaking of the DuPont 500, here's your winner of the first round of the season. It's Gene Sanford, right in the thick of the battle, right inside the top 20. We saw Sanford in a bit of trouble earlier, but she peeks her nose into Washer, makes the pass, and then dives into the 81 of Stephen Pollard III. Good pass by Sanford, and she clears Pollard. Nice job. Sanford, she is on a mission. She is carrying a lot of good momentum at the start of this year. And now she is trying to get past Seth Cole to go for the 3rd pass of the lap. And coming up on Campbell again. And can they get by Campbell cleanly? Travel getting pressured by Seth Cole. And William Duncan now out of nowhere passing Pollard and Washer, trying to follow Sanford and her path to the front. As we look in the farther back at the pack, you can see both the Hellfire cars. Well, they have similar paint schemes, but they do also have similar damage, which is kind of pathetic, but depending on your sense of humor, may be kind of funny to watch. But hanging outside the top 30, they had to come down and pit, along with Vargas and a couple others. All these guys back here are almost 1 lap down. They had to come down to fix damage from those opening from the opening chaos, but they continue on, hoping something happens. We have 2 Canadian drivers in the field today. One of them is Sean Angel in the 45 in the Harpo Motorsports car. Had a good run in the DuPont 500 before a speeding on pit road penalty knocked him out of contention for the rest of the race, as they continue to try and get past Campbell, and Angel's going to come to pit road. There was some talk in the garage about short pitting. As you can see, other cars are doing the same, such as his teammate Sean Galligan. So strategies coming into play here. People coming into short pit and then we'll probably attempt to go the rest of the way without pitting again. This is only a 1-stopper, so you can get away with a little bit here. Another Canadian driver, Joshua Michaels in the 31. He is also running. He is running outside the top 20, as was Angel. They got held up by those opening crashes, but Michaels coming off he won the last race of 2016 at California. This 31 team was a pretty solid team on the ovals, not so much on the road course. It was the 33 team last year. Now they are the 31 with the Smash Beer sponsorship. Charlie Fibrosis and Vladimir Petrov, they're bringing their way into pit road for their one and only stop, so going to be very important here. It'll be interesting to see if Petrov might take 2 tires instead of 4, or Fibrosis will take 2 instead of 4 here. They've been kind of close together within a second for most of this race so far, so this is a very big money stop here. Petrov kind of slow to his box. I think he had some trouble downshifting as he was entering the box. He kind of slogged. Fibrosis looking 2-tire. Looked like it was going to be a 4-tire, but no. Right side's only for the 9, and right side's only for the 09 as well. So 2-tire stops for the top 2. Interesting strategy. I mean, then again, it is a one-stopper, so this isn't a long race, so maybe 4 tires isn't worth it, especially when you have this kind of track position, as you can see here. Fibrosis and Petrov all by themselves, and Fibrosis, I think he actually lengthened the gap by like 3 times. Things have kind of quieted down after that pit stop, as we have a battle for 4th. Actually, I believe 3rd, as Lamas on the back of the 0 car with Michael Block in tow. Yes, I think this is for 3rd place. Down this long straightaway here, there are plenty of opportunities to pass on this track. It's just sometimes hard to find them and hard to get runs on people because of the 90-degree turns and the hairpins, but so far these very heavy stock car touring cars have gone through this place quite okay, although I think we've seen a couple people with Darlington stripes on the right side of their cars from hitting the wall so much. But Lamas trying to go by the 0 car, but Vincent Allen, as you can see, threw a gigantic block into the first corner. Lamas isn't going to like that one, but ooh, Lamas almost got into the 0 again as Allen just cut across. Allen being very aggressive, trying to not let Lamas go by. He wants podium position. William Duncan battling very aggressively with the 12 of Seth Cole, and Seth Cole into the guardrail. Watch out, right in the middle of the track, but Shelley hits the wall avoiding it, but whatever works, I guess. And Cole around in the 12, and yep, that was not very nice. Whoa, Galligan tries to go around on the outside, but there was no room, and they're into the tire barrier. Ow, that hurt. Okay, that was not smart. Yikes. Quick replay of what happened again. As you can see, Seth Cole slow, and Sean Galligan trying to go around the outside, but Seth Cole, I don't think he saw the 44 coming and just came right into Galligan, and now they both have suffered major damage. Elijah Bray making a huge move into Jesse Turner, dive bombs into the corner of champions, and can he make it stick? He does. Whew, what a move by Jabri. He was 2 car lengths back and somehow made that pass. That was hairy. I think that also might have been corner cutting, but I'm not sure. That's got to be looked at, but Jabri, that was a bold move, and it did pay off. He went right around Turner, as I think Jabri has just now entered the top 10. So that was a good move nonetheless, as Michael Cavanero hits the wall. He's not the only one. Fitzwater hit the wall a couple of laps ago as well. And meanwhile, Matthew Fuller, he is just running a complete race right now. He is in the top 10 in a Ford Fusion. This is a 2-year-old chassis, running quite well amongst the big boys. I think this might be the highest Ford in the whole field right now, actually. So Tross Motorsports, they're off to a good showcase so far. Fuller gonna be big for his Patriots Trophy points. Only a few laps to go in this A main. Chav Hebrosis up to a 4-second lead over Petrov. A good pit stop by the 9 team, and I think a blunder by the 09 team has put Fibrosis way ahead of everybody. So Fibrosis, he's backed off his pace. Knows he doesn't like to push too hard, but Petrov's still driving as hard as he can, and his teammate Vincent Allen right behind him also trying to get up there, but still being hounded by Cody Lamas. As you can see, the rest of the top 10 going through the corner of champions. For those of you who are brand new to the DuPont World Series of Racing series, we have specific rules for the dual rounds in this series, and that pertains to how the A main and B main line up. In the A main, we have a regular qualifying session, as you see in other racing series, but here we also have a B main. This B main is a very similar race to the A main, with the only differences being that qualifying is determined by finishing order of the previous race, in which the top 20, which is where all drivers score points in this series, they get their results reversed. So pretty much 20th. Whoever finishes 20th starts on pole. and whoever finishes first starts 20th for the B main. Sometimes this causes a lot of intentional sandbagging. James Shelley currently running in 19th, Dylan Young in 20th, and Satsuki Yakajura, who is trying to get up to the 2 car. Well, actually, I think the 2 just passed her as I was rambling, but the 2 and the 41 battling for pole position here. For the road courses, it is the top 20 that gets inverted. For ovals, it is the whole field regardless of finishing position. 42nd starts first, first starts 42nd, even if you wreck or park your car on lap number 1. Another driver with a quiet race so far today. It's been Paula Thanos, the Greek driver. The rookie straight out of Division 2. Been one of Subaru's main development drivers for the past couple of years. Didn't really get much of a debut in the 500. Her car basically blew up on lap 6 under caution. When she was interviewed afterwards, she said, well, I'm just going to pretend that didn't count. So Thanos in the top 10. If she finishes where she's at, I think she's going to count this one as a victory at this point. Another driver who had a short 500 was DJ Curtis. He was involved in the first wreck of the day after Gene Sanford got into the back of him instead of spinning into the pack of cars. But Curtis looking for a top 5 finish here, running 5th right behind Lamas. However, Charlie Fibrosis coming off the final corner on the corner of Legends or Champions, whatever it's called. Coming to take the checkered flag, Charlie Fibrosis scores his first win of 2017 in a quiet race for him in Montreal. Had some help from lap traffic, but gets by Petrov and extended the lead on pit road as Petrov cuts the chicane. I think he forgot to use the brakes, but he cut him, but he's still finishing 2nd place, but Fibrosis first. Vincent Allen rounds out the podium with a 3rd. Green flag is out for the B main here in Montreal. Sean Galligan on pole. He managed to steal 20th away as a couple of cars had to pit in the final couple of laps, which kind of reshuffled the order and allowed Galligan and Shelton to be put on the front row. And Galligan trying to complete the pass on Deanna Shelton into the first chicane. We had a big wreck here on the first main. Will we get through a little bit more cleanly? Jesse Turner in the wall, as you can see in the back there. Galligan, though, does clear, and most of the top 10 immediately goes to single file, so clean start for them. Oh, we actually had trouble in turn 1, and this involves some of the podium finishers in the A main, as Vincent Allen, Petrov, Fitzwater, and Fibrosis. Okay, well, Fitzwater getting into the back of the 7 somehow, and Pollard around the 81 as well. Woo, and Fitzwater, well, not much to go, but the entire podium just got wrecked in the first corner of lap number 1, so nice job, I guess. And Pollard into the 55. I don't think Fitzwater was happy about being slowed up by the 81, but there wasn't much Pollard could do. And Fitzwater, he has a crumpled front. He does not look happy with that 81. Sean Galligan will lead the first lap of the B main. And you see the rest of the field come through. Shelton in 2nd, Joshua Collard 3rd. That's your podium at the moment, but you can see a lot of cars who finished well. They're going to be trying to make their way up through the field again. As you can see, Cavanero and Fibrosis with damage, and Fitzwater as well. They're going to come down to pit road. They're going to have to two-stop it, but better to get rid of the damage now than probably later. Paula Thanos looking for a big dive bomb into the 10 of Josh Travel. Thanos with a good top 10 finish in the first one. She goes right around Travel to make up another position. Nice pass by the 98. She went flying right by the 10, although I don't think Travel really put up much of a defense. We're being told something happened with the 38 of Corey Williams, and yeah, that's what happened. I think Williams got loose in front of the 95 and cut across and goes head on into the wall, so Corey Williams in the Roush Racing effort for Patriots Trophy. Looks like his day is going to be done early. Battle here between two former Red Bull teammates in Division 2 as Vargas makes a move under the 93 of Louvier. These two were Red Bull teammates for a couple of years in the Division 2 side. Louvier winning the Division 2 title in 2015 and Vargas winning a couple of races as well, to her credit. Normally, we're used to seeing Nick Pericles in this 49 car for United Racing, but DeLise trying to battle with Cody Lamas. DeLise into the 48 and... Ooh, DeLise gets sideswiped by the 93 of Rosengard, and yep, that's... Tamir DeLise has not had the best couple seasons. He had coming off a struggling season with Mayota Incorporated. And whoa, getting in front of Patriots Trophy rival Charles Sanford. DeLise trying to play games here, but that was kind of a blunder he just put on Lamas. Basically lost control of the car, almost took Lamas with him. But DeLise, who coming off a pretty rough year at Mayota Incorporated, he's now in the Division 2 series with this 49 team, so we'll see how he does throughout the year. The Bosnian driver, he needs a career resurgence. Chris Louvier making a dive bomb on the 98 of Paula Thanos. This is the battle for 8th place. It's been these three for the past couple laps as Thanos is not able to hold her position, and she's going to lose another one as Vargas goes around her in the 84. Thanos made kind of a mistake in that corner area, and now Vargas does kind of the same blunder as well. Side by side here comes Travel, and here comes Chris Washer in the 27. Now looking for moves. Thanos to the quarter panel, the 84, gives the bump and run to the 84, but Vargas now going to look for a run off the hairpin, is not able to make it work. Very hard battle here. Everybody racing hard. They are sprint races, so you got to get every position you can. Vargas now makes a late move into the 98 of Thanos into the corner of Legends or Champions. I'm never going to say that right, but Vargas around the 98. Solid pass there. Well, never mind what I said earlier. Corey Williams is staying out on track and doing the Milton Campbell strategy. As Campbell into the wall. Here comes Torres 3 wide. Sean Angel. I wouldn't go 4 wide on that group of cars. Corey Williams. Sean Angel with no patience into the back of the 38. That 38's off the pace, and Torres trying to go by. Oh boy. Oh no. Williams trying to fight despite being 4 laps down. You know, oh goodness. Oh no. Corey Williams. Yeah, might want to bring that back to pit lane. As he continues to get in front of everybody. Charles Jackson, bold move on the 36 there. Corey Williams and Milton Campbell, 2 guys who haven't shown too much in this series in Division 2. Currently in the way of people. Ooh, Tross not realizing the 54's there. Gets into him and into the tire barrier and gets stuck and gets tapped again, and he's back rolling. Yikes. Sean Galligan coming in for his pit stop here. His lone pit stop he'll need for today. And everybody else looks like they're not going to follow him in. Deanna Shelton, she's going to pass him for the lead. And we'll go an extra lap. So Galligan pits first. Nobody goes with him. Shelton and Sanford both take in only 2 tires. As there's the 44 of Sean Galligan. Where are these two going to merge? They were 3 seconds behind Galligan, and they're going to merge right in front of him. Wow. We're being told Sean Galligan took 4 tires, so, yeah, this might not go very well, but Shelton does have the lead. Here comes Galligan. He wants to make a move on the 24. He went from first to third. I don't think he expected that, but here comes Galligan right back. He's going to make the pass for second. That 44 is strong. As we look back as Subaru cars moving up towards the podium cars. Thanos and Duncan fighting. They are both in the top 5 actually. Very impressive job. Galligan though with 4 tires and warmer tires. He is going to make a huge dive into the 5 of Shelton, who can't make a block in time. And Galligan with the tires is going to stick it through the hairpin and will stick right past her. And Galligan looked like might have been a slight heart attack. Yeah, he solved that issue. Jabri pressuring the 84. Vargas doesn't like it into the final chicane, and yikes, that was close. That was a close one. Jabri was just putting Vargas in the wall almost, and yeah, Vargas reacted in kind, and that could have gone very bad had they not sorted that out the last minute. And Vargas now with contact from the 19 of Curtis. It is a straight-up dogfight within the top 10. You can see this is just outside of the top 5. Everybody battling for position. Curtis trying to get her past the 84 Vargas. Curtis slowly marching his way forward. And Shelley trying to block the 74. Hops the curb and goes into the wall and takes Jabri with them. And Vargas and Curtis into the wall as well. Big chicane drama within the top 10. Let's try and see what happened here. Jabri dives into the 43. Shelley had his line and kind of blocked, but and then Shelley, the contact with Shelley, I think that forced him to hop the curb, and that just knocked him back into Jabri, and they went into the wall. Different perspective. We're gonna see what happened with Curtis and Vargas. Curtis just hops the curb, just like hopped the chicane, just like Shelley did. So 2 pretty much identical accidents there, and that's gonna knock these guys outside the top 10. As whoa, boys, careful. That's gonna knock a couple of cars out of the top 10. When when you're racing that aggressive here in these late stages, sometimes bad things are gonna happen. It can be debatable whether people think that was Shelley or Jabri's fault, but right now that's gonna cost him a couple of points. 3-car battle for 6th place. Satsuki Yakajura trying to get past the 42 of Joshua Collard. These two were part of one of the big points of silly season, where these two were basically traded for 1 season, as Collard, after leaving Texan Audi Motorsports, was signed on by Fingai Satomi Motorsports, and Texan Audi signed Satsuki Yakajura to a 1-year loan, as Yakajura is a Fingai Satomi Motorsports development driver. She's had a couple of great years in Division 2 with several wins to her name, and she's had success in Patriots Trophy as well. She had a podium finish in Australia last year, so Yakajura running her rookie season with a team that I don't think anyone really expected, and so far she's given them a solid run today. She kind of had a rough start in the 500, and had a rough start in the A main today, but solid top 10 runs so far. She can keep it up. Ian Dutta in 9th place, trying to hold off Chabris. Dutta looking for Max over Honda's best finish so far this season. Bobby Jones is a little bit farther back, but Ian Dutta, you know, he is a championship winning driver. He's one of the best drivers we have in our field, and he's taken this Honda team that is pretty much still developing. They left after 2014, and they're back here in 2017. And, you know, these are different cars that they're coming back to, so they're pretty much relearning, starting from scratch. So this top 10 run, you know, they need it, and it's a pretty impressive showcase so far, running amongst some of the best teams in the series today. Coming to the white flag, we have a battle for second place between the S3 Motorsports teammates. Deanna Shelton trying to hold off her teammate of Gene Sanford. This is an interesting scenario here because Galligan and Sanford finished 1-2, with Sanford winning the race last week. So, in a way, this is kind of a point standings battle between these two. Trying to exit Canada with the points lead. I think Galligan is most likely going to lead with it, but I guess we'll see. But Sanford trying to get past Shelton as they come to the white flag. Another battle between teammates that's been going on since the pit stops ended. That's been William Duncan and Paula Thanos here on the white flag. Thanos got to leave a top 10 finish in the A main, so she's looking for a top 5 finish here today. Gonna be a very solid weekend for the Subaru team as they have all their cars in the top 10, and I'm not quite sure they've had all their 3 cars finish in the top 10 before. So this Subaru team, who showed a lot of speed in preseason testing, they didn't really get a chance to show it in Indianapolis, but here in Canada they've been very impressive. But meanwhile, just like Fibrosis, nobody could touch Sean Galligan as he comes across the checker flag. He wins here in Canada. And what was a very interesting race weekend, that's for sure, but Galligan wins. Short pitting work for him, managed to prevent a hard break and scores the victory.